everyone. Welcome to the second installment of CTP's discussions. Today I'll be talking about the recent bomb of Loud House episodes. Now, the following content is quite rushed, and is the reason why I won't be making much videos. Why? Because of school. I've been really busy with it, plus I'm a huge procrastinator when it comes to making videos, so here you go. First up, we have House of Lies. This episode has Lisa being annoyed at the family constantly telling lies, so she creates lie detecting goggles to reveal the lies. This leads to the family members giving out brutally honest opinions and ends up driving them apart, which was not Lisa's goal. Her goal was to bring them together. Ironic, huh? Things get worse when she installs lie detecting cameras all over the house, and they even turn against her. In the end, the characters telling excessive lies is what causes the system to destruct, and everyone's happy at the end. This isn't my favorite Lisa episode, but it was quite enjoyable. It reminded me of Peeps from Regular Show. But I think that this episode's intended moral is muddled. This episode is apparently telling kids that it's okay to lie. Okay? Next up, we have Game Boys. Probably my second favorite episode of the week. There are plenty of video game references to go around. I mean, just look at the title card. Clyde is at his best here. He doesn't want to give Lincoln his game console, but at the same time he wants to be a good friend to Lincoln. Out of reluctance, he gives Lincoln his game console. Did I mention that the atmosphere of this episode is amazing? Clyde's nervousness about what will happen to his console makes the audience nervous too. In fact, this reminds me of Ready Jet Go, when Sean is apprehensive about letting people touch his birthday telescope. At the end, both Clyde and Lincoln get a happy ending. Sitting Bull. I don't necessarily hate Lynn Loud, but she is definitely the weakest Loud sister in my opinion. In this episode, Lynn wants to join Lori, Lenny, Luna, and Lynn in babysitting. The problem is, Lynn isn't the most gentle person when it comes to children. Lynn literally tortures two innocent kids in this episode. Then she gets fired from her job. In order to get back at her siblings, Lynn takes their babysitting jobs. As revenge for that, the other sisters sign her up to babysit the box quintuplets, which are notorious for being misbehaving little brats. In this case, Lynn's rough ways do work with the fox quintuplets to calm them down. So, this episode teaches us that there is a time and place for certain behaviors. By far, the best Lynn episode. The Spies Who Loved Me. My favorite episode of the week. In this episode, Ronnie Ann goes out in the city by herself, and her family is extremely paranoid. This episode seems to be a preview of what's to come in the upcoming spin-off, Los Casagrandes. All of the characters are very likable here. The family was a bit paranoid about Ronnie Ann, but they were charming at the same time. I can relate to them because at first I was very paranoid about my little sister going to kindergarten. Ronnie Ann is also likable in this episode because even though she appreciates the family for caring about her, she just wants some alone time. By far the best Ronnie Ann episode. Last up, Misconnection. I find this episode to be very realistic because maintaining a long-distance relationship is not easy by any means. And Lori's actually really likable here. Like, she isn't a bossy like she usually is. I don't have too many things to say about this episode, but this episode was a nice look into Lori and Bobby's relationship. And I hope they get more episodes together. That's it for this installment of CTP's discussions. And I'm sorry for not making a lot of videos, like I said. School and, yeah. I'll try to get my reviews on the latest episodes of SpongeBob and Thomas out soon.